there's a change coming. I'm pretty sure you can feel it, right? There's a bit of a change happening right now. And I'm pretty sure if you're a smart investor, meaning that you don't have your emotions in guidance of what you hope to see because you're in the markets. And I understand if you're financially in the markets right now, especially if you're like highly leveraged, then you have nothing but blinders on apart from what is on your side. Meaning if you're very long gold right now and you think gold's going to 10,000, anything that says gold is going down is going to be completely wrong, useless, and it's just, they're not right, you're wrong, right? But when you watch videos that says gold's gone 10,000, then that's going to be your blind side when it comes to you getting ahead in the markets, because you know the whole thing is you're very biased around your position there. And as you know, smart investors, and this is one thing I'm always trying to do myself, even when I'm in a trade, I'm trying to not think about my account, but thinking about the markets and seeing where I need to get in, where I need to get out. Because smart investors do have losses, but we know how to cut our losses short from there. And by the way, guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab access to that book I'm giving away. If you've been trading the markets for a while right now, guys, and you've done a lot of different education, a lot of training, and you know there's a lot of different trading systems, but you know there's something missing there. I guarantee you, when you start reading this book that I've just put together, you will start to get some light bulb moments about what really takes to be an elite trader in these markets here. Because only 1% of traders actually really do make it, as you know. The rest of people actually don't make it there. So you can see that first link in the description there, guys. So when I'm looking at all these markets right now, I'm looking just from a perspective of emotional 10,000 foot view here, okay? And where we are right now. And if I bring up the, obviously looking at the Wall Street cheat sheet as we speak, and if I'm looking at all these different markets, it makes me very nervous being long these markets. If I was long, like especially for trading purposes and leverage purposes, now is not the time to gamble. Now is not the time to just have a guess. Now is not the time to have impatience. It's definitely time to be structured, disciplined, and have a lot of patience. And why I say that is because a lot of the markets right now, we're starting to already see the cracks starting to happen underneath the surface. Okay, and that means simply like what happened last week when the whole Trump thing came out with the tariff. What happened to the markets? Real big selling period. That didn't happen for no unknown reason, right? That was a warning sign of what's to come. Just because we've done nothing for this last week afterwards, right? And meaning, like if I actually bring up, this is the actual stock market here. And if I just bring on, say, for example, the S&P 500, and we bring on, I'll bring on the candlesticks for you guys, right? So as you can see, right, from year to date, we've basically done nothing here for the last week. This whole thing here was the tariff situation. That is a warning sign of what's to come, okay? And if we do break below this level from here, I won't get into the pattern here. In fact, at the end of this update for you, I'll put on a training that walks you through the pattern we should be focusing on right now. If we're going to start to see at least a bit of a 10% correction, what's the pattern? I'm going to put that training on the end of this video for you to help you out. But that's not what this video is about, okay? This video is about to say, okay, even though we've done nothing for me, I truly believe this whole thing with tariff, this Trump situation here, that was the trigger of more of what's likely to come, okay? And so if we have a look at this here, so the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm just seeing there's a lot of a lot of short-term euphoria around a lot of these markets, right? And just all markets, it's like this really, yeah, it's like an all market situation, right? When we had the crypto market. Now crypto market's starting to come down, as you know. We're getting the crypto market really starting to sell off. Right, started really to sell off. And the really interesting thing about this, I really want you to think about this in the context of your long-term success in the markets. Right, your long-term success in the markets comes down to your ability to not get so sucked in by the herd, because you know the herd is wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? I do know that there's many people out there. As you know, there's been so many people. I know one particular person. He is an internet marketer. He teaches people how to advertise on YouTube and Google for their business, right? That's what how they advertise for their business. I watch him because he helps me when it comes to my business, right? Obviously, I have a coaching business, and I I run ads on YouTube as well too, and so therefore I'm looking to educate myself around that. Now, the purpose of me saying that is he has nothing to do with the financial markets at all. His whole game has been how do I become really good at advertising on YouTube. That's not my game. I have no idea. I do you advertising, but I'm still hopeless at it. I still lose so much money advertising, right? Mainly because I don't actually offer a lot of stuff. I offer my main product is my 1% group, and that's only about 10 to 15 people per year. That's my main product I sort of offer. And so if you're interested in joining me, I take on a small group of coaching clients. It's called the 1% group. You can see the link in the description there. You can apply for it. And what it is, it's just for 1 full year, you join the 1% group, and you join a real small group of traders. That's around 10 to 15 people. And you're with me every single day for an hour and a half as I go through the markets, trading, what I'm doing, guiding you, coaching you, and all that sort of stuff. You're a small group for a whole 1 year. Take on a real small group. So if you're interested in joining that, guys, for all of 2026, for the 1 full year, then I am opening up applications now. And I think there's a couple of spots left. You'll be able to see all the details there. Link in the description. You see the details there. You see my equity curve. You'll see the testimonials of people that have actually done this. And you'll see the reason why my coaching program is probably one of the most successful coaching programs out there when it comes to actually getting you results. So the thing about purpose me bringing that up to you, that story up to you, is all through here and here, there was that internet marketing guy who's all about really successful, how to actually do stuff on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And guess what he was saying? He's stockpiling all his savings into this because it's only going to go up. So it started giving me some warning signs around this whole this whole thing, right? There's this guy his whole business is around helping businesses advertise on YouTube, has nothing to do with the financial markets. And here he is starting to come out with doing things like Bitcoin videos. I'm buying Bitcoin. I've just sold my watches for Bitcoin. I'm putting all my savings into Bitcoin because Bitcoin just keeps going up. Now, ever since that's been happening in the last couple of months, I realized we're getting very, very close to the top here, right? Because he has nothing to do with the financial markets. And now he's saying it's only going to keep going up. So there's a lot of pain happening in the financial markets right now. There's a lot of pain happening even in the crypto market now. And if you notice anything about what's happening here, or even on the GPTC, from a projected level, you have that level from there to there. This GPTC, anyway, Bitcoin, is probably going to start to make a way down to around about that level from there. That's probably on a bare minimum basis from there, but it does look like actually there is a longer term level coming up through here somewhere, I think. Pretty sure, yep. So somewhere around about there, I would say. Maybe even something through there. So there may be something going on through here. So this level down through here. So I would expect to see probably another 10 or so % drop out of that level from there. But there may be something much bigger at play as well too. Because what may happen is if this is the true nugget in your face type thing, what I mean by that is that what may happen with Bitcoin, and I'm just bringing up Bitcoin now because this is just an example here, right? We have down here, and we may come down, bounce, if we do something like that, and then we break down like that, then that's going to spell a really, really, really big drop in the markets there. So that's the whole thing about Bitcoin, right? But not only Bitcoin, but gold, silver, like especially the metals and miners now. There's so much euphoria, and everything goes through seasons, right, guys? Like nothing is set in stone, no matter how much you think or hope or fear, right? So everything goes through seasons, and the most euphoric seasons in the markets right now was crypto. Now people are saying, why are you in crypto? It is the mining sector, it is the metals and miners, and also the stock market. And so when we look at things like the actual stock market itself, I'm sensing a bit of a pain coming into these markets here. I'm sensing now here, and especially if we do start to break below this sort of 6,550 level, if we break that here next week, or this coming week coming up, then that's going to spell a drop, and we're probably going to start to make our way. We're probably going to continue now having a sell-off down towards this level down the bottom here. So watch out for that, guys. Look out for that. If we do get something like that, we're probably going to start to see some weakness coming in the markets over the next 4 or so weeks. and then I see that being a big buying opportunity, and then away we go from there. So there could be something big's about to hit these markets, I truly believe, that could send this market to the downside. And not just from a sentiment point of view, I'm just seeing that, oh my goodness, like things are just so many people are long these days, right? And you saw this here with some of the cryptos, right? This is some of the stories around the crypto market here. This guy here lost $1 million. $1 million. This guy here, $30 million gone. This guy here, these people here, 18, 16, 15, 13, right? So we have these people that are losing a lot of money. So what I want you to be doing is I want you to be thinking smartly about your trading, right? Because when there's times of uncertainty and times you're not sure, that's when you don't do anything. And whenever you are at your peak of greed, like, oh my goodness, this thing's gonna make me $1 million or $10 million, I guarantee you the opposite is going to happen, and you're going to get your account destroyed. It happens every single time. It always happens with me. And every time I'm like, I'm going to make so much money trading this. Oh my good. That never works out, ever. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, right? You've been there before, right? And that's where, like, through my experiences, which is just comes from bad judgment, I've been able to really sort of stop myself from doing some really, really dumbass shit in the markets. And that's one of them. From there, so we can see that through there. Bit of a drop coming soon, maybe potentially out of that level from there. And this is where, like, everything's really starting to roll over. Cryptos are starting to roll over. GPTC, we have that through there. Even Ethereum is starting to roll over just a little bit as well too. So we're just getting a lot of weakness from here. And obviously the same, but what's happening with metals and miners, when we're looking at this whole level from here, just a really big move on silver. These markets went a lot longer than I thought. But the bubble is that much bigger, and therefore the sell-off is going to be that much harder. And the unfortunate thing is that I do know there's going to be a lot of people that are still holding long, for trading purposes anyway. That you might have some leverage, you might have some call options on GLD or something like that. And unfortunately, those people are going to get their faces ripped off. Because they're going to hold on. They're going to hope that gold is going to go to 10,000 now and all this sort of stuff. And they hope that this is not going to be at the top here. Which even from a short-term level basis, guys, even from a short-term level basis, you do know when we get too far away from the moving average, that tends to be oversold, and we end up going through a 2 to 3 month correction, like we have all through here. And as you can see, this leg through here is so much stronger than that leg, and that leg. So this is a much bigger leg. This is, to me, a bit of a blow off top valve. And the same for the mining sector as well too. I believe we're getting very, very close to a bit of a topping pattern here. I didn't expect it to be this strong. I got that wrong, as some of you guys know. Now, thankfully, I don't trade based off my view or opinion. I trade based off some strategies. So I've actually done really well this year. Again, if you'd like to see my equity curve for the last year or for last year, then if you go to getjohnshelp.com, that's a link for my application for my coaching program. You'll be able to see that it's not about being lucky every now and then, right? It's about being smart and knowing when to cut your losses and all that sort of stuff. Now, one of the markets that I'm actually quite bullish in this environment anyway is the bond market, because we have interest rates coming down, as you can see, right? We have interest rates really starting to roll over from here. So this is the 10-year. We also have the 30 as well too, rolling over, and that's what's making me think bullish for things like TLT and TMF, right? TLT is really starting to pick back up through here. We're really starting to gain a lot of momentum there. TMF, same sort of thing as well too. So I've personally been long TMF now for a couple of weeks, and I'm enjoying this little rise to the upside, and I believe we're just getting started. So while everyone's piling in on the crypto market, metals, miners, and stocks, I've been for trading anyway. For I see that there's a lot of danger coming right now for the short term anyway. Now, I do believe everything I'm saying here right now. When it comes to the stock market, I believe there's going to be an amazing buying opportunity that's going to come over the next 4 months, next 4 weeks, should I say, next 4 weeks, leading into December this year. Okay, what am I talking about? Well, if I bring up let me bring on this chart here, and let me go to, say, for example, the SPY as an example, okay? And we can see this is the SPY here. Let's bring on the S&P 500, because I'm pretty sure I've got already. Do I? Let me bring on. Now, as I bring on this chart here, I want you to look at, see where the fear and greed index is right now. Remember last time we got down here around about 2, where there's a lot of fear, and it's probably going to happen again. That was a really good buying opportunity. Just the FYI for you guys, okay? So that's the. Let's see if I can. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. So let's go to the S&P 500 as an example. I believe the S&P 500, we've obviously got a big long-term trend line coming up through there, okay? But I believe that this S&P 500 drop is not going to be a really big drop. I think it's only going to be around about a 10% drop, and then we're going to start to see a pick back up again. So all I see on the really big picture things, this is a weekly chart here, right? Weekly chart, okay? So we could see what's going on here, and if I bring this down to here, and this is obviously the long-term trend line. I don't believe we're going to get down to this level here, but all I see is this thing probably having a bit of a drop to the downside, and probably creating a bit of a, say, what's called a 10% drop. So I would say around about the 6,000 level is probably where it's going to find support over the next couple of weeks. And then when we see that, we're probably likely to get something like this going on, and then we're probably going to get a very strong rally coming out of December there as well too. So bit of short-term drop coming out of the markets, but I believe there's going to be a really, really strong rally that's going to start to, say, hit 7,000 plus on the markets there. But over the next couple of weeks, probably through October into November, we're probably going to start to see some weakness come out of the markets, and I believe everything's going to get a really big pullback. I believe the market's going to really start to thrive in those environments as well too. But if I go back to my daily charts now, if I just show you what that looks like on the daily chart perspective, and I bring this over here, right, we're probably likely to see this thing drop down into this level from here, and then we have that's down into, say, November, into so sort of first sort of 3 weeks in November, and then we have, this is January here, and then I see a really strong bounce coming up. Something like that so even through the December mark, just a really strong end of year rally coming out of the market. So there could be really good buying opportunity. Short term, guys, we're seeing what's happening right now, but I'm sensing that there's going to be a real good buying opportunity in the market here. So there we go, traders. I'm going to now put on the end of this training. I'm going to put on that training that I said to you of why I'm actually seeing there's a pattern that's forming now on the S&P and everything like that. That tells me that we're likely to see another drop to the downside. Speak to you soon, guys. So one of the biggest things that actually stops us from getting ahead in the markets is fear, right? Fear. What if the market crashes? What if it doesn't crash? What's going on? I'm confused. The market's so volatile. Let's actually, what I want to do is I want to take off the blinders, the blinkers for you. And today I want to share with you how there is so much power in the chart. And I'm going to talk about the different major crashes we've actually had in history, 1929, 1987, and how just by really forgetting all the noise and letting the fear take control, how can we just utilize some simple techniques that really do make a massive difference in our lives when understanding, are we about to see a crash? Is there a potential of a down market? So that's what I want to share with you. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So before I start, guys, if you'd like to learn how I actually trade the markets, how I scan the markets, how I find my trades, how I find what I call my A+ quality trades that gets over a 90% success rate, I'm running a webinar today, guys. First link in the description, click on that, go register for my webinar, and I'll teach you all the details, how to find, scan, and also identify amazing high quality trades, powerful trades that can get over a 90% win-loss ratio. First link in the description there, guys, go join my webinar that I'm running today. So let's go look at this here, right? So I personally take a lot, as you can see, look at this here. I have a lot of screenshots of different trades and different things I've done in the past, right? Do you guys take a lot of screenshots? Anyway, so let me bring this one up. Let me actually copy this for a minute, and let me go over to this one here. So we're going to look at this one here. And this is my good old PowerPoint. Rule number 1 is trend. The trend is your friend until the end, guys. I promise you, stick with the trend, especially the higher time frame trend, by the way. Bit of a side note before I get into today's update. If you're trading a daily chart, guys, always look at the weekly chart major trend and trade with that. You'll have a much more happy trading career. Anyway, so we look at this actual chart through here. So one thing that the stock market does, right? And I know this sounds really, really simple, but one thing the stock market does is this. The stock, for people that don't know about the markets itself, they're very, 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 very confused, right? It's like if you've been trading the markets now for 2 or 3 or 4, even 5 years, you've probably gone around the world a couple of times or maybe more, right? Is that a song? And the purpose of me saying that, right? If you've gone down the indicator roll and stochastics and MACDs and swing trading, divergence and reports and all this sort of stuff, right? And you're like, and John, I'm still confused. Welcome to the club. So was I. That's what led me down a rabbit hole. But thanks to me now having 20 years experience in the markets, I've just learned, there's nothing really, the market just doesn't suddenly crash, right? And that's what this whole thing is, just to give you back the power. Give you back the power, right? So let's have a look at this here. So let's actually create this really, really simple. Let's create another little slide through here, okay? So whenever we have a market in itself, we have trend analysis, right? So we have market go up. So let's draw this out for you, right? So we have market go up through there, right? Let's change the color. So let's say we have market go up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this slide for you right now, okay? Market go up, and market go up. Okay, so we have this market go up for you. So now we're looking at it, we're identifying an upward trend, right? And so the reason why I'm going to be using this example, and you can flip it upside down for the bearish side, but the reason I'm going to be using this as an example is to teach you and show you, because obviously market crash is down, right? So we want to identify, is there a potential market crash? So let's actually draw this through here, and let's actually bring up, I'm going to copy paste that again, but now I'm going to change you to red, right? Can we actually do a bit of a presentation live in front of you guys? Cool, let's do this here, right? So, and now look what we have here. What do we have? Nice little upward trend, right? Nice little upward trend through there. Yeah, we go, right? There we go. Another nice little another nice little move to the upside, right through there. And let's just do another one through there, right? So another one through here. Let's just say the market does that through there. And let's say the market comes through here, right? So what do we have here? What do we have so far? We have what? And I know this sounds really simple, guys, but watch. I'm doing this right in front of you right now as a bit of a teaching video. Okay, firstly, this is how you identify the trend. Secondly, you'll start to see when the trend starts to change, what are the most important things to say, you know what? We are no longer in an upward trend, so if we're going to see a downward phase, now it doesn't mean we're going to crash, but it just tells you that we need to be alert, right? So let's actually go to no fill in. Let's go to outline. Let's go to no fill. There we go. All right, cool. And let's actually do that. All right. So what do we have here? We have low, and then we have another higher low. Another. Oh, there we go. Back there. Another higher low. Right. And then now we have what? Another higher low, right? So we have higher lows in place. So as long as the market continues to make these higher lows, then the market is still in an upward trend. Now you may be thinking, no, duh, John, you wasted 5 minutes of my life to tell you that. Hold your horses, right? Hold your horses. Let me explain something here, all right? So, but what happens if for some reason the next leg down is like this? And what that is a woo. Let's go here, right? So let's go insert. A bit of fun here with you guys, right? A little bit of a. Okay, cool. There, right? So what that is that that's now a breaking of a low. Remember I said before that now, as long as the market's making higher lows, the market's in an upward trend. If the market changes the tune, and let's bring on a good old purple, and let's make you a lot thicker, and let's make you a bit Let's make you dash, right? Dash purple, dash purple. So if we actually break the low here, then what does that tell you? That tells you, because remember guys, remember, you and me are not, we don't move this market around, right? Not you, not me, not a collective of us. We're like a little fly poo. Trillions of dollars are flowing through all these markets, right? Cryptos and especially foreign exchange, right? And then you've got commodity prices and gold and stocks. It's so much money flows through this. So you and me, we're a little fly poo. But let's look at this here. So we identified this level through here, right? And this is the reason why, guys, in my trading system, again, that first link in the description, go join my webinar. In my trading system, out of the 4 rules, the very first rule is what I'm teaching you here right now because it's so powerful. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So we had this level through here. So now we've actually broken the low. What does that mean? It means that the market is no longer in an upward trend. Okay, cool. So now this could either mean it's likely to go sideways, or we could actually start to see a downward trend. And then what can actually happen sometimes is that the market will then get what? The market will then go for a rally to the upside, and then it will start to see a movement on the downside. But what was the warning to say, oh, if I'm long this market right now, this market could be rolling over and we could be getting ready for a downside. Now, I know this, what was the warning sign? The warning sign was what? This one right here. Okay, and I'm going to make that a lot. I'm going to make you, let's make you, all right, let's make you, we'll go red, right? And let's make you a lot thicker, just a lot thicker. That's what she said. I hope not. Anyway, back at the educational video for you guys. All right, so we have higher lows through here, okay? Then we break a lower low. Now, what is this one? This is a trend change warning, right? A trend change warning. So the trend change warning simply says, okay, we could be getting ready for more downside to come. And this way, guys, that let's actually take the power back here, right? There's this whole world of trading. It's actually not that complicated. Once we can start to remove once we can start to remove what we think, right? A lot of times when we go to the markets, we think, oh, the professionals, blah, 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 blah. All this, a lot of the stuff that we think is actually completely wrong, right? So now then this trend change warning then starts to make what? Then comes up, then now makes a lower high, and then now guess what? Now we're in a downward trend, right? And then the market goes down. Now there's no guarantees that this market is going to crash here. No, it could just be in a downward trend. But let's go apply that same analysis to all of the markets. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go to, this is 1929 crash. What did we have here? Look at this here. Easy. There we go, right? See that lower low? What is that? That's that lower low from what? Let's do another one. So now we had a lower low, lower high, and then this is the 1929 crash. So I know that sounds really simple, but guess what? That's that low through there, right? There we go. There we go. Hey, are you going to do it for me? No. Oh, there you go. Right. So that's that low. It created a lower low, lower high, and then the severe crash happened. Let's go look at the 1962. All right. I'm going to copy paste where the low broke it. Look at that there. That was a low, a slight lower low, but look what happened. Came up, made a what? Lower high, and then we had the big move down. 1966 crash. Look at this one here. This one here was definite, like a real spot on, right? Look at this here. So we had what? We had a lower low compared to this low here. And let me make you a circle. That low there, right? So higher low, lower low. What do we have here now? We now have what? We now have lower high. Let's continue on here. 1987 crash. What do we have here? We had this one here, wasn't a lower low, but it actually started to create this pattern here where it created a lower high, it created a higher low, but then it created a lower high, and let me copy paste you over here, and it broke the low. So lower highs breaking the low. Who's in control through here now? Who's definitely in control at this point right here? All right, this point right here. Now the sellers, right? Because now we're in a downward trend, right? We're in a downward trend. High, low, lower high, and then the big drop. And then look at that there. 1980. Oh my goodness, 1987 came out of nowhere. 2008. Mr. 2008. Let's I need another red circle. Let's go 2008. 2008 did what? It created at least this point through here, right? Dropped a major lower low. Then created a lower high. It actually even started back here as well too, right? As you can see. Like look at this here. It started creating lower highs back here. But a significant lower low, lower high. And then guess what? The big crash was where? The real big bang was there, wasn't it? Right? That's where this right here was the big bang. Can I make that thicker? Anyway, you see what I'm getting there, right? So this here was when, oh my goodness, market's falling off a cliff. Like, it's like, look at this here, market go down. COVID, look at this here. Now, what did COVID do? Good old COVID. Now, by the way, guys, COVID is an anomaly. You can't really add COVID in there, but look what COVID did. What did COVID do? It actually created the double top, but look what happened. It broke the low, right? Broke the low. It didn't create a lower high, but as soon as it broke that low, guess what? You're saying, oh my goodness, it's over. Let's go. And then let's look at one of the last crashes through here. And this is where, guys, the chart is your friend, right? What's that there? What is this here? It's a what? It's a lower low. And now that's a lower low. And now look what happened. Came up, made a lower high. That's pretty much there. Look at that there. Remember I said before, like, let's go back to this diagram here. Lower low, lower high, and then the bear market starts, then the downside starts. Now again, it doesn't mean this is when the crash is going to happen, but guess what? This is when you actually start to utilize, okay, if there's something going to happen, like right now as I'm doing this recording, if you look at the markets, if you're worried about a significant crash suddenly happen overnight, that is just off a fear or off a thinking, and that is not reality, right? The reality is that the market doesn't just go straight down. It may have a really sharp drop in the market, but to really have a big crash, which I don't think we're going to start to see what? We're going to start to see this. Again, it doesn't mean we're going to crash. We could just have a nice downward trend. By the way, traders, what is a crash? The crash is what? Just no, this is 2008, right? It doesn't look too bad. Like, oh my goodness, global financial crisis, the market is over. That's it, everything's dead. Everything's dead. That doesn't look like much, does it, now? Because why? We're removing the emotion. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this was 2008 stock market crash was 2008, 365 days, not 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. It wasn't COVID, right? COVID was a black swan that happens once every 100 years. But now looking at the crash here, look at it here, look what we're seeing through here. Low, lower high, and then away we go from there. And then we see where Bitcoin crashed, and as you know, Bitcoin came down through here. And then it did nothing for a while. People went quiet. And then now we had the very big moves to the upside. So if I go back to this chart here, look at this chart here. As we can see, look at this here. 1929, lower low, lower high, downward trend. Lower low, lower high, downward trend. 1966, lower low, lower high, downward trend. 1987 created a higher low, but then it created a lower high. And then we started to see this here. 2008, and also the Bitcoin market as well too. So if you are fear of having a crash and you're worried, we have the power in our hands. And it's not from a secret report or what Russia's doing or this secret long-term insider or no. Let's bring back the, as you can see, right? So what is our job? Our job is as the market is moving and starting to create, as the market moves and creates these patterns, guess what we should be doing? We should be completely 100% focused on this one thing. And again, guys, that's where, like, for me personally, with my trading system, when it comes to my A quality setups, again, guys, that first thing in the description, go join my webinar that I'm running today, and you will be able to see exactly why my trading system is so high probability. Rule number 1 is this. Then I'll start to look at rule number 2, 3, and 4, and like, oh my goodness, when you start to combine those 4 simple things. But that's the reason why, guys, off the back, this is the reason why it's a foundation to having a really successful trade for me. Because this here, guys, is what, remember, at the end of the day, the bottom line is this. You and me, we do not move the market. but the chart is like a footprint of what the collective of the market is thinking and feeling. Now we can go really deep into this market, like really, really, really deep about chart reading techniques and all that sort of stuff. And I do that in my trading course. That's second link in the description there. Especially in part number 2 and 3, I talk about like chart reading mastery and different things you can utilize there. But the power is in our hands, because all it is, it's just what we're doing here, guys. When we're reading the market, we're reading what the big boys are starting to think and feel, right? And this is sort of like a foundations of the trend analysis. Then we can start to look at other things, laying it up to a bit more advanced type of techniques to really start to really get a good understanding. Like, oh, look here. You know, the buys used to be strong, but now we're actually really, really slowing down here, or we could be getting ready for a change, or all these sort of things. So the whole purpose of this video, guys, is to give you back the power, give you the power. So if you're worried about a stock market crash, or if you think about loading up on some put options or shorting the markets because you think the market's going to go to custard, right? No. Step back, right? The market doesn't work like that. The market will start to give us some sort of warning sign first. As you can see, all the major crashes in history, especially the really big ones, 2008, Bitcoin, 1929, 1987, the market starts to give us some form of a warning sign that we may not go through. We don't know if a crash is going to happen, but it starts to say that, hey, we are no longer in an upward trend anymore, and the big boys are starting to sell this off for a reason. So traders, before you leave today, I want to give you an invite to apply for my John's Inner Circle coaching program. This is my top level coaching program, and this is for only serious people only. This group right now currently is only around 15 people, so it's only a real small group because I'm with you every single week in that small group. This whole group here, this John's Inner Circle, is about giving you exactly what you need to know on how to identify a really good high quality setup, trade management techniques, how I scan the markets, and so much more. Plus also every single week I'm doing live coaching sessions that help you with every single area that goes into becoming a good trader, and so much more. So this is only for serious people only. This is my top level coaching program. It's only a real small group. But if you're at the point right now where you are absolutely serious about becoming disciplined and you really want to make commitment to becoming a good trader, then my Inner Circle may be a good fit for you. If you go to getjohnshelp.com, that's an application form. Go fill that out right now, and you and I will have a good chat on the phone, and I'll see where you're at, and you'll be able to see more about the actual coaching program. And if we're a good fit, then maybe we can move together from there. But if you're real serious about this and you really want to take this to a whole brand new level, and you want to be more than 95% of traders lose money in the markets, and if you finally want to start to crack into the top 5%, and even the top 1%, then this may be a good fit for you. So go to getjohnshelp.com right now. Apply for that. It's only for the first 10 people only. And I look forward to speaking to you on the phone real soon.